Corey Johnson with your weekly recap. We'll be catching you up on some of the biggest stories of the week. That includes the ongoing back and forth between Portland police and city leaders over a stabbing incident at the Central Library. Plus, we looked into the reasons why gas prices in the area keep climbing higher than the national average. Also, the growing confusion over access to the latest COVID-19 vaccine. Our top story of the week, confusion in Tigard after the mayor abruptly resigned Tuesday night. Council President Maureen Wolf will now serve as mayor in the meantime. Heidi Loop posted this lengthy letter on her website announcing her resignation immediately. In it, she alleged government infighting, mentioned an investigation involving complaints against her, and other issues, including conflicts with city councilors and staff. A city spokesperson thanked the former mayor for her service in a statement and said, quote, "At the city of Tigard, we're committed to ensuring a respectful workplace for everyone, where all people are treated with dignity and conflicts are addressed constructively." Now, we reached out to Loop but have not heard back yet. On September 23rd, council will discuss appointing a new mayor. Portland police identified the 3 people who died in a double murder-suicide this past weekend. Investigators believe 22-year-old Miguel Morgan shot and killed his mother, 48-year-old Maria Rubio, and his 10-year-old sister before killing himself. It happened last Saturday at a home on Southeast 64th Avenue. Portland police say no further information will be released on this case. And a reminder, if you or someone you know is struggling, help is available 24/7. Just call or text the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That number is 988. Multnomah County leaders say recently released surveillance video that shows what led up to a stabbing outside the Central Library in downtown Portland last month also shows a more complicated situation than what was initially reported. 3 people arrested shortly after the stabbing appeared in court this week. Each of them faced multiple felony charges. A 44-year-old man was hurt in that stabbing. Now, Portland police said at the time he was trying to stop some type of disturbance, but County Chair Jessica Vega Peterson says there's more to what happened. She called for the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office to release the video, then wound up releasing it herself, saying she wanted to ensure transparency and also prevent racial bias from sharing the public narrative.
This isn't about dictating the right and wrongs of the case. That's going to play out in the judicial system as it should. We all want to make sure that justice is served, that there's accountability, and that we have safe places. But for me, the concern was just being really conscious of how we are talking about and portraying young Black people, and making sure that we're not falling back on kind of racial stereotypes as we're talking about things.
Now, the 3 suspects accused in the stabbing have all entered not guilty pleas. Well, if you filled up your tank in the past week, local gas prices are up yet again. The average price in Oregon jumped to $4.14 a gallon. In Washington, it's $4.49 a gallon. Meanwhile, the national average far lower than both at $3.19 a gallon. Catherine Cook takes a look at why local gas prices have been on the rise.
Think you're seeing higher prices at the pump? You're right.
They're rising for sure. Kind of sucks because I drive a lot for my work, so it's a lot of money going out of my pocket.
Since last week, AAA says Oregon's average price for regular unleaded jumped 16 cents to $4.14. The biggest week-over-week jump in the country. In Portland, prices are 20 cents higher.
I would have filled up yesterday if I had known that.
And remember, that's just on average. You'll find much higher prices than that.
People want to know what the heck is going on with gas prices.
Marie Dodds with AAA says there's not just one, but rather 3 factors at play. First, reports of planned and unplanned maintenance at refineries in Washington, Puget Sound, and California. She says that impacts wholesale prices, which trickle down to the pump. Next, Dodds says they're getting reports of an outage or disruption at the Olympic pipeline, which brings fuel down from Blaine, Washington to Portland.
So if there's an outage in a pipeline like this, it can really wreak havoc in Oregon.
To top things off, this is all happening right before refineries switch over to winter blend fuel, which Oregon retailers can start selling on Monday.
And so the refineries are not going to be wanting to crank out a lot more of the summer product because that deadline is fast approaching.
That means a tighter supply, which some retailers are already managing. By email, Chevron tells KGW We are aware of the pipeline outages in the Pacific Northwest, and we are managing our fuel supplies accordingly. Depending on the extent, some Chevron stations in Oregon and Washington may experience fuel shortages. We are exploring all options to ensure these motorists have access to our high-quality fuels. Dodds says there's an easy way to manage current supply and demand.
You know, if you need to fill up, if you're on empty, go ahead and fill up, but don't just go fill up for the heck of it if you only need an eighth of a tank.
And with higher gas prices, that's not a tough sell for customers.
I'll just pull in and get a little bit of gas, and then I'll probably find another gas station that's a little bit cheaper.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Well, state agencies, doctors, and pharmacists are all still waiting for clear guidance on COVID-19 vaccine policies, leading to some confusion over where and when people can get the shot. A lot of this confusion stems from the fact that the CDC's Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices still hasn't released its own recommendations. This is in part because Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. replaced the entire committee earlier this summer. Oregon state policy forbids pharmacists from giving out the COVID vaccine to anyone without a prescription. But people we spoke to say their doctors have been hesitant to issue prescriptions without the state recommendation. Now, last month, the federal government announced the updated COVID-19 vaccines are now approved for people 65 years and older, as well as kids and adults with at least one pre-existing condition that puts them at risk for severe illness. But one Portland resident says even though she's age 65, she hasn't been able to get her shot.
We shouldn't have to feel like we're going to be on the edge of catching this virus again and get sick again. We've had it, but not badly because we're vaccinated. So that's the part that makes it so horrible.
Now, that CDC Advisory Committee is set to meet on September 18th and 19th to discuss those recommendations. A staple of Oregon's fishing community is on the brink of closure. The Salmon River hatchery is shutting down after decades of operation. It's leaving big questions for the river, local businesses, and the people who depend on both. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife said it takes around $500,000 every year to run the aging facility, and its location sits in a low-lying area along the river. That means it's prone to flooding, and ODFW expects that to get much worse in the future.
I feel like for the last 8-9 years I've been coming out here and it's been really good, so I was kind of hoping that it would continue.
Our commerce and stuff that all the fishermen bring in from the valley and stuff, that's going to take a big hit to a lot of these little stores out here.
And while the facility will remain open over the next few years, the agency is going to be moving some of their fishery programs to other hatcheries in the area. And some big news for the Port of Portland and Oregon's economy. The port has announced a new deal to keep Terminal 6 going as the only international shipping port in the state. The port reached an agreement to make Harbor Industrial Services its long-term operator. Harbor had already been serving as an intermediary between the port and dock workers, so they say this will be a seamless transition. Right now, the terminal directly supports up to 400 jobs, from longshoremen to truckers, and more than 1,500 jobs total across the state. The hope is to grow the business moving forward.
Our model is much different than the port's model. It allows us to be more flexible, allows us to be a little more aggressive where it needs to be.
We are hoping to see a doubling of volume through the terminal over the long term, over the next few years.
Harbor Industrial Services will take over Terminal 6 by the end of the year. Well, what started as a childhood love of Legos quickly turned into something most builders only dream about, seeing his own design on store shelves. Devin Haskins speaks with a young Portland man whose Italian village design is now sold worldwide.
20-year-old Alex Solly.
So this is part of my Lego collection.
Has a love for Legos.
I have all kinds of things. I mean, I've been collecting for a number of years.
From small.
This is probably my favorite right here, the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
To big.
This is the Titanic.
He's built them all.
This is the Saturn V rocket that took people to the moon in 1969.
His first set was his mom's.
You know, that was always a special set for me, and that's what got me hooked.
And as the years went by, he moved on from building sets.
This is my log cabin.
To designing his own.
So this is my original idea, and then all of the expanded stuff I added.
Using a Lego program online, he says he's built 40 or 50 of them. submitting 6 of them for review.
This is my original model that I submitted.
In 2022, he created a Lego village modeled after homes in the Italian Riviera.
So my inspiration for this was a trip I was about to take, and I was all excited. I was doing a bunch of research.
He submitted his idea to Lego.
It's always been a dream.
And after receiving the necessary 10,000 votes from other creators,
I thought this was a cool idea, but I was worried they wouldn't approve it.
Lego designers not only approved it, they helped him perfect it.
Here we go. So this is the Italian Riviera. It is almost 3,300 pieces.
3,251 to be exact. In August, after 3 years of work, it was officially for sale. He says it was a surreal experience putting it together for the first time.
A little bit, yeah.
Some ideas they added.
There's the crab. That's a fun one too.
Others, his own little surprises.
So there's a mini figure right here of me with my camera, because I'm always taking pictures.
The Grant High School grad is now a junior at Cal Poly and studying computer science, who can proudly say his design made it to store shelves.
It's really fun to make it your own and pick out all the stories from it and kind of figure out what it means to you.
Devin Haskins, KGW News.
Well, check this out. A local putting green got some maintenance work thanks to some hungry farm animals. Take a look at the goats who helped trim the grass on the 13th hole at the Eastmoreland Golf Course. Their job is to eat the overgrown weeds and plants on the steep banks of the hills and ravines, which means no need for herbicides or even heavy equipment.
We've had a lot of positive feedback from the community. The neighborhoods not having to listen to heavy equipment come in here and mow it down. So it's pretty much a win. And this is one of the most Portland things I can think of, using goats to clean out a gully.
Well, certainly a cool idea. Now the animals are expected to be on site for roughly 2 to 3 weeks. Now here's your weather.
On a Friday, I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. Hope your day is going well. We are looking forward to a nice day down here in Portland. We had solid low clouds that never broke up yesterday. We thought that could happen. Today we have pretty good confidence that we eventually will get the sunshine on this Friday and have a really nice Friday evening. The wide satellite picture, this is our rainmaker for Sunday. Weather models have changed the orientation somewhat of the weather system, but the timing still brings a first wave of some precipitation inland tomorrow overnight into early Sunday morning. And I'll show you Futurecast that with that situation in a moment. We're looking at a mainly dry day here in Oregon. There could be a few spotty showers out over the Blue Mountains, but that's about it. We've had those days and days this week of scattered storms. Central Oregon, no rain chance today, so folks getting a head starter on their weekend going over to Bend or Sun River will find nice, dry, and for the most part, sunny conditions. Sun River was reporting some fog early this morning. Oh my goodness gracious. So the last time I saw this camera, about 20 minutes ago, it was just starting to see some cracks in the cloud cover, and now just like that, it's a beautiful morning in Lincoln City. So how about it? Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera. So this doesn't necessarily mean that the valley is going to clear out, but what we look at as forecasters, everything seems to be pointing to that fact. It is perfectly clear up above the low marine deck, up at Timberline. Beautiful morning. It's been in the 50s up there. Nice mild start, no wind. Here's our state capitol, and a little brightness with the cloud deck that, again, is expected to start breaking up around midday today, and a similar scene over downtown Portland. In fact, it looks like underneath the banner, there are some thin spots in the cloud cover. So that would be encouraging if you would like Friday sunshine. A little bit of brightness showing up here. You got the train crossing, got some tankers and fishing boats out here. I just saw a picture of a friend of mine that caught a king salmon this morning in the Columbia. And boy, it was a big one. So it's been a lot of folks fishing this week. That's from the springs at the waterfront in Vancouver. And again, that's looking west from downtown Vancouver and the Columbia River. Here's Futurecast. Shows the cloudiness getting out of here quickly as we get rolling into the afternoon hours. Here's tomorrow, which is all dry. Could be some early patches of fog in the valley, but then we get sun. Later on Saturday, we get increasing cloudiness, but we'll stay dry Saturday evening into the night. Now, this is Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Notice the colors. It's scattered, showery weather, but by 7 in the morning, we already have inland bands all the way to the Cascades, and the bright colors tells you there's some convection, meaning heavy downpours mix in. So this is Sunday morning. This is Sunday at 5 o'clock. Shower machine still going. And it's tough to pinpoint these showery patterns. I mean, are you going to get this many showers or that many? And keep in mind, you can be in the one spot where you kind of don't get anything, or you can be in a spot, and if you get caught with a couple of downpours, you will easily pick up a good half of an inch of rain, but a good quarter of an inch of rain on Sunday. That shower chance looks to end now Sunday overnight, so we'd wake up to dry weather on Monday. Weather models not really having a great handle on the precip output, but this is showing a quarter to maybe even 4/10 of an inch of rain with some thunderstorm potential in eastern and central Oregon. Doesn't pick up a lot of precip totals, in fact, less than 1/10 of an inch here in the valley, but it's scattered. And grid patterns, which is what forecast models are, have a tough time of pinpointing scattered precipitation. So we'll see how much we end up with. Today we get the sun, we warm up into the 70s in Salem, and here's Portland 74 today, 82 tomorrow. There's the showery weather on Sunday, 69, a dry Monday, and then a run of 80-degree weather with sunshine Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week.
And that's a wrap on your weekly recap. I'm Corey Johnson. You can catch up on the latest headlines anytime on KGW.com, your KGW app, or on our YouTube channel.